Hi, this is Steve DeMasi and welcome to Uncharted DIY. Today's project is a removable modular mounting system for bench vices or other workshop tools that you want to prevent from moving around while you use them. Are you tired of your bench vise not being installed properly, leaving you to try clamping it down, moving it around, or even using one hand to hold it while you try to work with the other? That kind of defeats the purpose of a bench vise, right? Not to mention, an unstable vise can be a safety issue, both for you and the project you're working on. I put off mounting mine for a long time because of two problems: space and clearance. Problem number one, space, is that I need all the workbench space I can get in my garage shop. Mounting the vise permanently would take too much valuable work surface. It would limit my ability to clamp longer materials horizontally without running into other tools. And it seems like the vise is in the way all the time. The second problem, clearance issues, might not apply to your setup, but I am pretty sure that few of us have too much workspace. Problem number two, clearance, is that for clamping long items vertically, the rear jaw of the vise must sit forward of the edge of the workbench. My workbench, made from an old kitchen countertop, was solid enough to support the vise, but with my mobile table saw station tucked underneath, protruding a few inches, the vise couldn't clear the edge. Well, why not just mount it on the end of the bench or on one of the corners? Big heavy tools live there. I needed a way to mount the vise only when I need to use it. I also wanted to be able to move it from side to side. I didn't want bolts sticking up anywhere or holes in my work surface. Because the countertop has the built-in backsplash, I couldn't clamp anything there either. And clamping only at the front risks it falling off the bench and crushing my feet. So it was time to solve these problems, and the solution was fast and simple to make. Speaking of time, now would be a great time to like and subscribe, which helps me bring you more high-quality how-to videos. Also check out UnchartedDIY.com for more how-to projects. I made a modular mounting system that will not only work for my vise, but other tools too, such as a bench grinder or other benchtop tools. Just make mounting boards for each tool and swap them out. It'll keep you safe and your workbench clear. Because it slips under the 2x4 attached to the backsplash, it can also be moved from side to side quite a bit and still be strong. I used 3/4 inch particle board for mine because that's what I had laying around. For the way I use my vise, it's been strong enough so far. Ideally, dimensional lumber boards would provide more strength. However, if you use the anvil part of your vise to pound really heavy stuff, a metal plate might be a better idea. Building this removable mounting system is super easy, takes about a half an hour's time, and doesn't require any special tools. All you'll need is a saw, a drill, and a couple of wrenches. To start, I laid the board on the counter with the 2x4 at the back to keep it from flipping off the bench and putting out an eye. I measured the distance required to allow the rear jaw to extend past the table saws below it. After verifying that a long object would clear the table saws, I cut the board to length. I then marked the holes, making the two that are closest together face the front. This vise uses 3 holes, and the rear one is spaced further from the other 2. If not mounted correctly, the vise would hang over the edge too much. Next, I drilled the holes on my drill press, but a handheld drill would work just fine. I used bolts installed from the bottom, since the mounting lugs don't have much space on top. I used large fender washers on the bottom to spread the force out. Regular washers went on the top so the nut would press down more evenly, since the vise holes are kind of large. I tightened down the nuts and bolts, but I didn't use monster truck force, which might cause the cast iron to crack. A good vise is expensive, though not as costly as vices, spelled with a C. Then I mounted the 2x4 to the backsplash using structural screws driven into the studs in the wall. It sits just a little bit higher than the board, so it has a nice tight fit. This rear rail could be just about any length, as long as you can find a nice, straight 2x4, since they're not always that easy to come by. Since mine sits over the table saws, I mounted a 2x4 underneath the vise to support the board as it rests on the saw top. We all need a little support now and then. Now to use it, I slide the board under the rear rail and use 2 bar clamps on the front to hold the board down. They don't need to be huge clamps to keep everything in place, since the back is up against the wall, which isn't usually a good situation. Now, there's no problem using long materials, horizontally or vertically. It tucks up behind my drill press when it's not in use. I don't have any wall space left in my shop, but if you do, it could hang on the wall. And that's it. A fast and easy solution to make a modular, removable vise mount. You too can have a solid, stable vise on your bench, but only when you need it. And now you can mount that vise properly without sacrificing that coveted workshop bench space. This is Steve, and thanks for watching Uncharted DIY. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe so we can continue to bring you high-quality DIY content.